Welcome to Best of America by Horseback. I'm Tom Seay. We're in Troy, North Carolina at a private equestrian campground in the middle of the Uwharrie National Forest. The 4B Farm and Campground has been around for many years, but the new owners, Mark and Kathy Bowman, have expanded the campsites and utilities and keep making constant additions and improvements for the enjoyment of their guests. Access to over 45 miles of equestrian trails in the Uwharrie National Forest is right out of the campground. The trails are rolling hills and offer both easy and challenging trails. There are vistas, water crossings, and beautiful hardwood and pine forest trails. This family-friendly campground offers recreational opportunities for the entire family, including fishing and boating opportunities at a nearby lake. I think you'll enjoy this show at the 4B Farm and Campground. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
On this episode of Best of America by Horseback, Tom Seay is visiting the 4B Farm and Campground in Troy, North Carolina. It is a private campground that borders the Uwharrie National Forest on 3 sides, giving guests immediate access to nearly 50 miles of equestrian trails right out of the campground. The 4B Farm is now owned and managed by Mark and Kathy Bowman, who acquired it in June of 2018. 4B Farm and Campground is a great destination for the outdoor enthusiast, whether it's trail riding on your horse, fishing, or floating the nearby waters in your boat, kayak, or canoe.
Where are you located and how do people get here?
We're in Troy, North Carolina, so we're in the Piedmont area of the state. We're at the Baden Lake Recreation Center. So when you come here, there's lots of options for outdoor activities. We've got the lake, so there's boating. We've got the Uwharrie River, so there's a lot of kayaking and canoeing. There's horse trails. There's OHV trails, so we've got a lot of Jeep clubs that come down here. So it's a very popular area.
Mark, what are the riding opportunities here?
So Uwharrie National Forest is 50,000 plus acres. We're the smallest forest in this area. Pisgah, Nantahala, and the Croatan are the 4 forests around. There are 50 miles of horse trails for everybody's enjoyment. They're a wide range of difficulties. There's some extremely rocky, very steep trails, and then there's some that are more mild and compacted rock or dirt. So there's a little bit for everybody there.
And that's all connected to the campground. You can ride.
You ride right off the campground right onto the National Forest. We're bordered on 3 sides.
What are some of the highlights of riding?
So you've got Baden Lake. You've got the Uwharrie River that the trail winds around. We've got Walmart. We had a lady ask us, why is there a Walmart in the forest? Walmart is a gathering place. They nicknamed it that, and it's just where everybody gathers and rest their horses. They usually take, their lunches, picnic lunches and things like that there, but it's called Walmart.
Now, just a rumor that you have some interesting characters in this community, nicknamed Bigfoot. Tell me all about that.
This is supposedly where Bigfoot lives. We do a Bigfoot ride in the spring every year. Everybody goes out and tries to find him and bring him back home.
When people come here and they pull in, what do they see first? And I want a tour of the place for our viewers.
Okay, when they first come up, they'll see our sign at the end of the driveway, and they'll drive down the driveway and see our pastures with our horses. We do board some horses and have some of our own. And they'll come down and see corrals along the driveway, and then they'll turn and they'll see one of our barns where we board horses, and then they'll see the office and the bathhouse. And then we've got 55 sites that they'll be passing, and we've got a second barn. So we've got corrals and stalls enough for 81 horses here, and we've got 51 campsites.
Tell me about the bathhouse. A lot of people travel with just their trailer and they're going on a weekend ride with the family, and so they don't have all the amenities in their trailer, and so having a nice clean bathhouse is important. And you've got one of the cleanest ones. Tell me about it.
So that was one of the priorities, because from growing up camping, I feel the same way. I used to not like going to the bathhouse when there was all creepy looking and you were like, oh, am I gonna be okay going in here? So the first thing we did was clean up and paint and decorate, and we've got three toilet facilities on each side and 3 showers, and then there's 3 sinks in there and room to dress and do your hair and that kind of thing, and we keep it very clean. I had one guy come and he said, "This is the cleanest bathhouse I've ever seen. You can almost eat off the floors in here."
Well, that's true. The facility we gathered last night, and we're having the banquet tonight. Tell me about that. What do you use that for? Can groups use it when they come in?
Absolutely. We have a cowboy church here that meets every Sunday morning at 8:30. We have a little chapel in the barn that we meet in when it's cold and not, too cold to meet outside. But we use the arbor for cowboy church. Any kind of special functions we're having, we use the arbor out there, and there's plenty of grassy area outside of it, and then we can have the area inside with the stage and stuff where we can have groups sing, or even weddings or anything that people would want to do.
A lot of people don't realize how much work it is to have a nice facility. But what is the part that you enjoy the most?
I enjoy meeting the people and making sure that they're having a good time, that this is a nice clean place to come and a family-oriented place that you can bring your kids and you feel safe with them walking around, and that you're not worried about anything. You can just relax and have a good time.
We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back, and we're going to find out more about how they ride on all the different trails here and the opportunities. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Say hi, Tom.
You look good.
Hey, you have a nice ride.
Tom Seay is in Troy, North Carolina at the 4B Farm and Campground located adjacent to the Uwharrie National Forest. One of Tom's favorite pastimes on location is personally appointing himself an inspector. He likes being the puppy inspector, or, like this time, the brisket inspector.
The National Department of Brisket Inspectors.
Brisket inspectors.
Yeah, he's our man in charge. He's the one you want to see.
Because of the COVID thing, we can't touch the meat. Do you have 2 slices of bread I could have to keep my fingers from touching the meat?
We can arrange it.
Okay, tell me what you got there. How do you do this?
I got 5 briskets. We were up till after midnight last night trimming all the excess fat off and rubbing them down, and we put them on about 6:30 this morning. So we're waiting on them to get done.
A lot of people claim they can cook roast and briskets and so forth, but they have no clue whether it's done or not. I admire your safety precaution, is what I call it, and checking the temperature of the meat. Pretty important, isn't it?
It is. It is. The perfect temperature in the thickest part of the meat is 205. So when we cook them to that temperature and cut them, they're perfect every time.
Are you going to do the slices tonight?
We're going to offer either sliced or chopped, whichever one you want.
Now, what else goes with dinner tonight?
We're doing barbecued chicken, potato salad, macaroni and cheese, green beans, baked beans, and yeast rolls, and coleslaw, and then there's a multitude of homemade desserts.
So if anybody goes away hungry,
It's their fault.
it's their fault.
Yep.
Mark and Kathy Bowman treated all of our riders to this wonderful Saturday night banquet, which included music by Buster Green. And underground worship featuring Bradley and Savannah Mick. On Friday night, Alfred Tyson, publisher of the Carolina Trail Rider magazine, put on a fish fry for everyone at the meet and greet. Alfred Tyson, pastor of the Circle Cross Cowboy Church, did the church service Sunday morning.
And whatever you made out of it, it would come to life. Can you imagine that? So let's just suppose, Trey, you want to make you a friend.
In the office, Mark and Kathy have a small store with gifts, t-shirts and sweatshirts, riding apparel, and some tack. But our favorite is in the very back, the ice cream shop, with ice cream made at a local creamery.
What's your favorite?
What's my favorite? The black cherry.
That's what I want.
And a cup or a cone?
Cup. If I knew I was going to be eating cherry, I'd have wore a different color shirt.
Tell us about this ice cream. I hear it's from a local creamery.
Yes, it's from Bowman Dairy and Homeland Creamery in Julian. And the dairy provides the milk, and then Homeland Creamery turns it into this lovely, wonderful, delicious ice cream.
And everybody talks about how good the ice cream is.
Good.
Doesn't have a lot of artificial.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for more of Best of America by Horseback at the 4B Farm and Campground in Troy, North Carolina.
How is it?
Don't bother me right now. This is really good.
Tom Seay is in Troy, North Carolina at the 4B Farm and Campground located adjacent to the Uwharrie National Forest. We had a beautiful fall ride weekend with viewers and friends at the 4B. Justin Dunn joined us on location and offered 2 clinics to the guests. Justin specializes in training wild Mustangs, particularly teaching them how to communicate with humans, and humans how to communicate with them, with no bits, spurs, pain, or fear, creating only a willing partner in the relationship. Justin works exclusively with American Mustangs in his American Mustang School, in therapy programs for the United States Special Forces, veterans, active military, first responders, and youth. We first met Justin in Colorado, where he owned a horseback outfitting business using his trained Mustangs, and helped with a camp for children with cancer for 6 years. Justin now lives in North Carolina, where his American Mustang School promotes mental health and wellness through the preservation of the American Mustang horse. We had a chance to visit with a few riders after their ride in the Uwharrie National Forest on Saturday.
I think this is, of all the rides I've been on with y'all, I like this one the best.
I think so too.
The trails, absolutely beautiful. They were challenging, but not, nothing dangerous.
It was up and down and up and down. The horses loved it. They just had a great time.
Why do you like this place?
Oh, it's awesome. There's water almost everywhere you meander around. There's lots of water, and the terrain, it's not just flat.
But the scenery is so beautiful. You're riding down by the river, you got to go in the river, you're crossing creeks, looking across the vista and seeing people snake around in front of you. So nice.
That vista is amazing. I don't know what mountains I was looking at, but they were beautiful. I didn't know there were mountains this way.
Beautiful and well organized. I thought everything.
Yeah, very well marked.
Somebody said, how long you stay in Charlotte? It says a month.
So it's the first time you've ridden here? Yeah. I've heard about it forever, and I was always so jealous. I'm so glad we came.
Well, I'd never heard of it until y'all decided to have the ride here, and then I looked it up and thought, yeah, that looks like a nice place. That's just a great place.
Yeah.
Great place.
We're coming back.
Okay.
I don't want to go home, so.
Well, I would love to come back here.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, yes.
If people want to come for the weekend and have a place to stay, tell me about the cabins.
So we've got 4 cabins here. One we call the small cabin. It's 8 by 12 and has a double bed in it and a sink and a coffee pot. And we've got 2 medium-sized cabins that are 12 by 12, and they have double beds and coffee pot, mini fridge, and microwaves. And then we've got a larger cabin that has 2 double beds and actually has a little kitchenette and a sofa, and it's real nice. It's our most popular one that people like to come stay in.
Your favorite time of year is?
I think spring is my favorite. So I get tired of the cold, and I like it when it starts warming up and everything starts blooming. And
You have people that come back regularly, they already start booking for the spring. How long do you stay open during the year? Do you close?
No, we're open 365 days a year. We have more popularity in the spring and the fall just because of the weather, but people come all year long. This year, in the summer, we actually had a lot of people that came and actually rode in the summer even though it was hot. But it is popular for people to come and rent the cabins and do kayaking and things like that in the summertime when it's hot. They like to be on the water.
A lot of people don't realize how much work goes to keep, you can have a campground, but to have an upscale, family, clean, super nice campground takes a lot of work.
It does take a lot of work. It's just Kathy and I, and my mom helps on the weekends in the office, so it keeps us very busy. We're always wanting to upgrade and make improvements, make it nicer for everybody, but it does take a lot of work.
This is a must-visit place. We're having a good time here, and it's backed up by great, great people.
For more information on visiting the 4B Farm and Campground in Troy, North Carolina, and riding in the Uwharrie National Forest, you can call Kathy or Mark at 910-606-1052. And you can find them on Facebook and their website at 4bfarmandcampground.com.
I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Best of America by Horseback. We'd like for you to join us on future rides and future events. And if you want to see where we're going, visit our website, Best of America by Horseback, for the entire schedule. Also, like us on Facebook and watch us on our YouTube channel. I'm Tom Seay. We'll see you next week.